kia ora and welcome. I am Monique Bradley. I'm super excited to have you here with me in my studio. This is a guide to better living extra special, and tonight we are talking about a very, very important topic. Are you concerned with the signs of aging? Do you feel like you are aging less than gracefully? You are aging way too fast? Well, don't be surprised, because studies show that women and men here in the Southern Hemisphere are actually aging faster than any other country in the world. Why? Well, that's what we're going to uncover tonight. And what can you do about it? That's what we're also going to uncover tonight. So, in today's live stream, we're going to look at the #1 reason why we age faster. We're going to discuss aging gracefully, or for some of us, aging disgracefully, and what you can literally do to transform your skin and potentially turn the clock back 10 years. That's right, you heard it correctly. You can turn back the clock potentially 10 years. And tonight, to help me fulfill this promise and to unpack all of that amazing information, I have two awesome and inspirational wahine here in the studio. Over on the couch tonight are these two gorgeous humans, the amazing owner of Kaiz Medispa in Parnell. This is the gorgeous Kai Cuff. Kia ora to you, my friend. I feel like we're whānau. I've known you for some time now. And also here on the couch tonight, we've got the dynamic, I use that word for you now that I know you well, the dynamic clinical director, Stephanie Yelder, who is also a dermal therapist. And you've been in the industry for 20 years. We're going to unpack that too, because I think that's truly, truly amazing. So welcome to you both. Welcome to my whare. Welcome to the studio. It's great to have you here. Yes. Feeling good?
Yeah.
Good. Ready to smash it tonight?
Absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. Well, tonight is a very special night because it is your opportunity as we hear on this incredible live stream. And I do want to say a big shout out to everybody watching on YouTube, those of you watching on Facebook. And I believe we've got some people tuning in tonight through Instagram as well. I want to say a big welcome to all of you. This is a live forum, of course. We are live right now. I can see people watching on the chat. And so because we are live, if you have any questions at all, if you have concerns about your skin, this is your opportunity to not just be a passive observer of this live stream, but to actively be part of the conversation. You've got experts here sitting on the couch. You've got people like me going through skin transformation as we speak. We want you to be part of that conversation. So send your questions in while we're live tonight. I have my computer right beside me, so I'll be able to look at your questions. And as well in the live feed, if you are super excited about getting amazing skin transformational treatments, you can actually enter a competition to win a very special promo that we'll be telling you all about very, very shortly. So be part of the chat. Don't hide. This is your time to shine, and we want you to be part of the conversation as well. We're going to be showing you many amazing things. We're going to talk you through a whole bunch of treatments. We're going to talk you through why aging is happening and why we're aging faster than any other country in the world. And we're also going to talk you through some amazing before and after images to show you what's possible. And like, I'll be sharing through this, listen to me, and like, I'm so Kiwi. I'll be actually sharing with you guys in real time with our team here what it's like to go through that experience. I've struggled for many years with my own skin issues. I've struggled with rosacea. I've struggled with dermatitis, eczema, massive melasma and pigmentation. And now, thanks to the team at Kaiz, I'm actually literally starting to turn back the clock. And in fact, ladies, I have to share this with you because I'm gonna tell you guys specifically, because you guys have been looking after me for a little while now. I have had some of my fans and followers from around the world, one of them in particular, messaging me saying, "Are you Benjamin Button?" And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because the more I see you in social media, it literally looks like you're turning back the clock." So I want to credit that to you guys as well, because you've been looking after my skin. And for me, like most people, I've really struggled with the feelings of shame around my body and around my face. The fact that I just shared with you recently, Stephanie, I wouldn't go out without makeup on because of my melasma, and you've seen it. You've both seen my skin and my body up close. And I think before we jump into tonight's topics, we're seeing a lot of these issues for a lot of, not just women as well, but men too, struggling with their skin and struggling with their body shame. Is this, Kai, I'll start with you before we jump into the topics. Are you seeing a lot of this in clinic as well?
Yeah, absolutely. That's more and more men. I found that this place really for women, but there's more and more men coming in as well. Yeah, I think everybody struggle just where we're at.
And wants to feel confident.
Yes.
And you've seen that, obviously, Stephanie, because you've been in this industry for 20 years.
20 years.
And you've seen people going through their own transformational journeys. So what's that experience like for them? How do they turn up?
There's such a difference between when you first start treating a patient to when you've been with them for a little while and you've been treating them for a little while. Because when they first come into you, there's a lot of shyness. They'll often walk into the clinic looking at the ground. And then after you've worked on them for a little while, they start to sort of sashay through the door, and you start to see somebody blossom, and then you start to hear really beautiful stories like, I didn't like posting pictures of myself before, and my acne or my scarring, whatever that was holding me back. And then you actually start to see that change, and that's why I'm still doing it 20 years later. That's why. It's that part.
It makes my heart happy.
Yeah,
it really
too.
does. So let's jump into, speaking of stories, there's a bit of a story behind why you set up Kaiz in the first place and the philosophy behind Kaiz. So before we dive into aging, which is our topic tonight, Kai, I really want to unpack that story, because I know a lot of people they've messaged me saying, is the whole place named after Kai?
No, actually not.
No.
Well, so the name Kaiz is actually derived from Kaizen. I want a place that provide transformation, but not in an aggressive way. And I think a lot of time the transformation is not just outside where you can see, it's also inside. So the place, there's a lot of skin clinics around and stuff like that. We call ourselves Med Spa. That's a spa words in there, because I want to actually let people know that when you come and get a treatment, yes, we're going to deliver the result, definitely. There's no question about that. But it's your time. And there's no way when I go for a treatment, I want to get stuck in a little box in the mall. That's so why all our treatment room have beautiful windows with beautiful lights, and we spend time with you. And that's, I think, make a huge difference. I have 4 children. And that is no way when I have my me time, I want to get just second grade treatment, I want to have just for me. Because as a mother, you really wanted to have, when you spend a little bit of money, when you actually spend time outside of family, you feel guilty. And I think that special little time that you decided to spend have to be special. That's why.
And I've noticed that actually from the first time I walked into your clinic.
Yeah.
The fact that the philosophy behind it, even the energy behind it, the vibe behind it is very different from other practices. It's not clinical.
No.
Even though you're dealing with those higher level treatments, and Stephanie will be talking into that tonight. Yeah. It's like this space between, for me, plastic surgery and beauty therapy, this magic space in between where you get a next level treatment without the anxieties of feeling like you're in a medical space.
Exactly. Just like some of the hospital where they started to put, like children's hospital, they're trying to put a lot of cartoon and just make the space look different. It's same kind of philosophy around that. We want to deliver, we do needling and stuff like that.
Of course.
You don't want to be intimidated and feel like, oh, I'm actually going to the hospital. The environment is so important, because I think everybody needs to heal, not just from outside. It's inside too.
Oh, that resonates so deeply with me, especially on the journey that I've been through.
When you go through a transformation, it's big here, not just here. And I recently have listened it from YouTube. It's about this plastic surgeon. He actually do a lot of transformations. And then he feel like the person who gone through the transformations, it's completely different person. Because in our head, we always have an image of who we are.
Yes.
And then when you get to that point, you sort of come out of your shell. You can actually, like Stephanie said, you can post pictures on Instagram. You can do all that stuff. But you're so ashamed. And I think everybody live their life. And YOLO, this is your life. Only, that's one time. you know, and how we're going to live our best life. And I think that's important.
Look, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm currently, and I've shared this in social media, I'm currently going through the fat freezing treatments with you, and now started on the skin treatments as well. And just to message you like one night and go, wow, this is the first time in probably 15 years where I'm actually sitting at home without a support garment on.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I feel okay. You know, and I mean, I know tonight we're focusing on aging, but that whole moment of transformation, I think, is so much deeper than just how we look.
Yeah.
It's so much about how we feel. Would you agree with that, Stephanie?
It's 100%. That is what it is. It's not just a superficial, you know, silly, shallow type of thing that we do. It really isn't. And us that have been performing these treatments, we know we're at the coalface of it, right? So we know we're there and we see it, and it does go so much deeper than that. Often you're the first place that someone comes to see when they're grieving. You're the first person that someone comes to see when they have had a breakup. You're the first person that I've heard about pregnancies before partners, you know. It is a sacred space. And it has been like that since I was 17. Since I entered the industry when I was 17, it has been consistently the same. It's very, very special. It goes so much further than just applying something to someone's skin and making them look pretty. Like, it's just so much more than that. And it's something that is inside that changes in people.
So true. Now, you're saying that you started this industry when you were 17 years old. So looking at your skin, because of course I'm in the studio right now. So that was a couple of years ago. Just a couple.
It's positively facial.
What I think is great, you've spent many years in Australia, specifically in that dermal therapy space.
Yes.
And I know that's a new term for people here in New Zealand. So for anybody who's never heard the term dermal therapy, can you unpack that and tell us all about that?
It's a whole industry that evolved from beauty therapy as sort of its origins. And just like you were saying before, it's that world in between. And so really what it is it's an entire industry that's based around essentially creating micro trauma and micro wounds in the skin to stimulate collagen. So it's working on the live layer of the skin, not just working superficially.
Right.
And in Australia, people are fortunate where they can choose this vocation, and you can go straight into a degree with it. And in New Zealand, we evolve with it just in a little bit of a different way. So we start out in beauty therapy, and then we do a lot of the more advanced extra training whilst on the job and through companies. So it's working a lot deeper into the skin to create change. That's all that you're really doing. You're just creating that positive transformation in skin. That's it.
So it's not just with beauty therapy, my understanding is we're treating a lot of these surface challenges. So it might be, leaving your skin feeling nice and looking good, looking a bit brighter. Waxing falls under that sort of category as well. But the difference here is by creating that change in the deeper dermal level, are you creating better skin in the long term? Is that correct?
That's correct. And the industry is evolving. People are becoming more specialised. So if you were to compare Australia and New Zealand, and we're starting to get like that here, you've got people now who they do brows. That's it. They just do brows. Or and you've got people, they just do lashes. Or you've got just spray tans. And so it started to turn a little bit different where people are actually more specialising. And I think that's where dermal therapies has also branched off and gone down its own track because it's just really specialising in skin. That's it. Remodelling skin. And that's your main focus. And so I think this is good. Specialising, it makes you better, right? You perform better because that's what you're focused on instead of multiple things.
I love that. I love that. Yes, there are lots of generalists, but to have a specialist really taking care of something that is so precious, which is, of course, our beautiful faces. We want the best, right?
Yep. Put your best face forward.
The money maker, that's what I always call it. Now, before we jump into tonight's special topic, important point to make. So, if you are here and you are on the live stream tonight, I'm just having a look to see there's people watching. I can see you. Kia ora to you. Nice to have you on the stream. Make sure you send in your questions. We have a massive giveaway coming up. It's the massive spring launch giveaway. To enter that giveaway, All you need to do is click the link below, enter your details, and you are instantly in the draw to win a $500 Kaiz treatment voucher. Very, very special voucher there. You need to enter the draw immediately and you will love your time spent at Kaiz. Right, back to the studio. Exciting times. All right, I have so many questions to ask you both tonight, so I hope you're ready.
Go for it, darling.
First of all, let's talk about tonight's topic. Now, tonight's topic is, of course, all about aging. So this is a big one. So in my own recent consultation with you, Stephanie, I was actually, to be honest, a little bit mortified to learn that those of us here in the Southern Hemisphere are actually aging faster than any other part of the world. What the heck is going on, Stephanie? Great question, right?
I know. And this is a real homage to Professor Greg Goodman, who was the first to publish the study where he was comparing the rate of ageing between UK, Canadian, US and Australasian. It was mainly Australian, but we can count New Zealand in that because we fit in the same bucket. And seeing, you know, do we experience the signs and symptoms of aging the same, or is there a difference because of the our geographical location? And the studies were actually quite horrifying, you know. But we now know that there are more serious consequences to prolonged sun exposure that are not cosmetic. So we know we've got higher cancer, like, you know, the skin cancers and things like that. It's very important in this part of the world to get mole checks and to keep an eye on your skin in that respect, health-wise. But there's also a cosmetic consideration here as well. And what we're noticing is that we're getting our fine lines, wrinkles, pores, more prominent nasolabial folds, more lax skin, so we're seeing more sagging skin.
Oh, yes, yeah, I'm seeing all of that.
Yeah, it's 20 to 30 years before people in other parts of the world experience it.
Wow, 20 to 30 years, that is absolutely incredible. Who would have thought that that was that's a massive amount of time.
It's a bit of a slap, isn't it? Like,
and I'm just gonna check and see if we can jump back onto those two screens as well, because I felt they were really, really interesting. The first one is, of course, the fact that the reason why we're aging is literally that sun.
That's
right.
And
you've got here on the screen that you sent me, Stephanie, that you're seeing those changes in the texture and colour. You're seeing reds and browns. This is literally my skin.
Yes.
Changes in the skin texture. And the fine lines. I think everybody's really struggling with that. And then that second one, where it has the rates of aging.
Yes.
That is utterly unbelievable. Kai, you've got a point to add to that?
So we can't actually age gracefully here.
No.
Because it's not fair.
Doesn't exist.
You age so much faster than anybody else.
It's actually shocking.
Yeah.
So okay, let's just unpack that a little bit. So you would say the biggest, the most critical reason why we're aging, is it the sun? Is it the hole in that ozone layer?
For us particularly, there's always a few factors that will go into the way that we age, and those are things that we know. So we know that there are genetics and lifestyle factors. Those are two things that will often give you some indication of how you will look. You know, for example, if your mother has got, you know, I hear this complaint all the time, is eye bags or dark circles, something like that. It's very likely that you will also have that type of condition as well. So, or eczema or things like that can run genetically, but on top of that is also now the exposure to UV radiation, which is exacerbating and accelerating that process. So it's just like the way to visualize it is the oxidization, essentially. We're oxidizing faster, right? So if you cut an apple in half and you sit it on the bench and you see that it will go brown, and that's the oxidization, and that's what is happening to us at a faster rate. You see? Yeah.
That's literally the best description I think I have ever heard of this, because as I think about people I know who are aging, and of course we all are,
We
but
all
people
are.
who are older than me, the skin's browning, the brown spots are coming out. I'm even noticing on the back of my hand age spots.
Treat a lot of hands. We can zap that off, darling. That's all right.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to jump over to you.
Okay.
And you said that we are not aging gracefully. I'm going to unpack this with the both of you. So tell me what you're seeing in particular when people are coming into clinic. How are people not aging gracefully right now?
Well, when you're aging 20 to 30 years faster than anywhere else, and like in lockdown, we can't go anywhere. So you can't see other people who are same age with you and how much younger they are. So that's just unfair. And then what are you going to do? When you're 30, but you look like you are 50. That's a bit bummer.
Yeah, that's the best quote of the night. That's a bit of a bummer. I totally agree.
I thought just grey hairs coming in were bad, but then when you start to look at the actual data, you think, you're losing a lot of that youthfulness.
Oh, that's so true. And it's hard, it's shocking, it's I didn't sign up for that.
No.
I think people need to know. I think people need to know that is what happened. Like Stephanie say, skin cancer is so much more common here.
Yes.
And why is that? And then it's reasonable to actually understand that, hey, that sun actually affect our skin. Because when you put anything outside under the sun, what does it do? It deteriorates so much faster.
Yes.
Isn't it? So I only started wearing sunscreen not long ago because I have no idea. And then I'm from Malaysia. I never have any issue with my skin. Only when I get here, I started to have pigmentation.
Wow.
And that is crazy. So I think people need to be educated.
Yes.
Because where you at, it's so much harsher. Like we will be in our bikini all the time in Malaysia, no problem.
No problem.
No
Wow.
problem. But here, even driving your car with a window, you feel like painful.
I've had it.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
It hurts so bad. And
Literally
that's
feel
why.
the radiation.
Yeah, you feel it hurts like being cooked.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
and you know when you are overseas, if anybody goes to Europe or even when I was in Bali, you go this like beautiful golden goddess colour, and then I come here and it's just like this mottled like pigment.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't go this like beautiful brown.
No.
I just go spotty.
You get
like
you get
or-
cooked.
And then red from broken capillaries everywhere. So you don't get this beautiful
really
colour
harsh.
Wow.
because it's far more intense
Right.
than people realise.
So don't ever go out and just suntan with your SPF
Bad idea.
15.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Bad idea. You just
Yes.
turn into a raisin in this country.
Yes.
You really, really do. You
Yeah.
just turn into a little raisin.
Well, I know that there are people who are on the live stream tonight because I can see you. I can see that there's people watching. So if you do have any questions at all during tonight's live stream, feel free to send them in. I know that some people have actually submitted questions in advance that we're going to address tonight. But if you've got a burning question, see what I did there? If you've got a burning question and you want to know about something going on with your skin, if you feel you're aging prematurely, if you've got age spots, melasma, we're going to talk about those things tonight during the live stream. Feel free to send your questions in, and remember too, in the live stream feed below this video, you'll be able to enter that special promo prize draw, which will gift you a $500 special voucher. Well, you'll go into the draw to win a $500 voucher for Kaiz. So you need to enter your details into the portal. Get amongst it. Great for anybody who is coming to Auckland or you live in Auckland. That's where Kaiz Medispa is based, here in Parnell in Auckland. We'd love you to come in, try the treatments and experience the magic for yourself. Right, so let's jump into tonight's topics. This is super important. So the first topic, I have got some big questions for you.
Hit me.
It says topic, educational Stephanie. So it's all official. Let's discuss the signs of aging.
Yeah.
First and foremost, what are people experiencing? What are you noticing? What are people seeing, particularly here in the Southern Hemisphere?
So, something that we hear quite often, which is when you have a spray tan, you feel like you look so much younger, right? Or we wear makeup, right? Because it makes us look better. We don't really think about why. We just have, that's something that we've noticed. And the biggest reason is because it's it's actually covering what the signs of aging that we're seeing, right? So the way that we look at it as dermal clinicians or as dermal therapists is that we're looking at colour and texture, which is the more reds and browns, and then we're looking at the colour and then the textural changes, which is fine lines, wrinkles, pores, and scarring and lax skin. And so the reason why that you think that you look better with makeup on is simply because you're one colour. We've covered those reds and browns, which is synonymous with being youthful, right?
Wow.
That's what we're seeing, but we just don't really think about that. We just see that I look better when I've got makeup on. It's just because I'm one colour, like I was when I was younger.
I had no idea. I believe we've actually got some images around that as well, which we're going to bring up on the screen so that we can have a wee look at that.
Yes.
That's going to come up very shortly. So most people are coming in, they notice the lax skin, as you said.
Yes.
They notice lines and wrinkles.
Yes.
Which is obvious. And of course, when you've got a little bit of pigment powder on there, it kind of smooths you out a little bit.
Yes.
Sun damage is obviously a big one. There, melasma. Of course, if you've got a bit of a tinted moisturiser on or a bit of a spray tan, it evens you all out.
Yes.
You've got, people with acne or scarring. A spray tan evens it all out as well. Would you say they're the biggest reasons why people come into the clinic?
So absolutely, people. You do hear a sort of similar tone, and often it's people. They're trying to self-diagnose, right? So they're
Dr. Google.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Hello.
And it's like, I'm feeling really dry. I need to use it. I'm feeling really sensitive, so I need to do this. Everything reacts on my skin, so I need to do this. And there's such a bombardment of information for people, and then it gets also mixed in with the professional products and ingredients that we use as well. But the trouble with the self-diagnosis is it's often incorrect, and there's a little bit of a misconception that it can just be changed with perhaps one simple product or one simple thing, and that will fix it. But if the cause hasn't been correctly identified, that makes the treatment for people very difficult, right?
Oh, right. Gotcha.
So it makes it really hard. So something I hear a lot is, I'm just feeling really dull, my skin's just feeling really blur, like I just don't feel like I look as good, I feel really like I look really tired. It's the same thing that we hear. So the common complaint.
Me, self-diagnosing and thinking it was the menopause why my skin was going funny when it was really just a reaction to something that I had tried and I thought I was doing a good thing for my skin.
Because it says it's for skin on it, It's not your fault, and it might be good for skin, but it might be better for your heels, than it actually is for hair.
True. Now, one of the things that I noticed when we were chatting as well was the changes in collagen. I believe we've got a screen to show everyone around how that can change as well. We've got skin symptoms going on there. So these are kind of the things you were talking about there. The hyperpigmentation or the lines and wrinkles in particular.
Yes.
And the changes in collagen.
Yes.
Collagen loss. And in fact, you said to me during our consultation that loss of collagen over time can be a real challenge. And look at those numbers.
Very, very different.
So what happens during this time? We'll keep that on screen because, of course, Kai mentioned before about the difference between, I think it was the difference between having treatments with wound healing and not wound healing, which we'll be going into tonight. Explain what this means for everybody watching tonight.
So what we're seeing, the line that we're seeing without treatment, so this is taken from a study. So what we're seeing is just on average, and this is particularly geared towards women because actually men's collagen stays with them functioning for a lot longer than we do. They don't experience the same degradation of collagen like women do. Which is, just great.
That's not fair.
So, no, it's not. And so at 30, we're sitting at a 75% collagen. Now, what you can do is during your 20s, you can look after your skin to make sure that you are keeping that collagen nice and stimulated and turned over and protected mainly. It's more about the protection. At 30, what you want to start doing, if you can, is start doing wound healing or microtrauma treatments, which, as you can see by the graph and by the data, that if you do that regularly, you can actually keep your collagen turning over and keep it stimulated. So what can happen is that when you are just doing the monthly treatments, now this doesn't have to always be with microneedling. It can be with peels, so alpha hydroxys and beta hydroxy acids. We do monthly peels with an LED. That is considered a wound healing treatment. That will still stimulate your collagen constantly.
Yeah.
So we know that we can actually continuously stimulate collagen to keep producing by administering certain treatments.
Gotcha.
So you can stop that degradation of collagen.
Gotcha.
Yes.
We'll just come back to the studio now. That's a fascinating graph. That's incredible information. Now, I've just been alerted that apparently my microphone might be squealing a little bit or squelching. For anybody who is listening or watching and you're noticing that, I do apologise. Let's blame Mercury retrograde for that.
You've been blaming it all week.
Damn Mercury. And if you know about Mercury retrograde, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wow. So first of all, guys have better options when it comes to collagen.
Yeah. Men's collagen doesn't break down the same.
Females, we're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So, but there is hope, and that's what we're going to unpack tonight too.
Yep.
Now, Kai, I want to jump in, and you've had this clinic for how many years now?
No, since December.
Since
so
December?
not even a year.
Whoa! Oh, it's
I
new.
can't get treatment because they were so busy.
They're so busy. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Joe.
With regards to aging, when people are coming into clinic, you've been around since it opened.
Yeah.
What are people most often saying that they're noticing before we jump into that? What are people's biggest challenges with their skin and aging? Do you think?
I think that's a lot of pigmentation issues. Yes. A lot of pigmentation issues, and then that's one of the massive inquiry we have. And the other thing is the sagging of the skin. Like we have quite a few clients with they was opt for eyelid surgery. But yeah, we actually reversed that, which is really good.
That's so good.
Quite a few of them. Yeah.
And I've noticed one of your treatments is called the Hollywood Glow, which
Yes.
I've had and I love. And I've converted some of my friends into having it. And they love it too, because it's literally like that sort of facelift without a facelift, which is fantastic. I did notice that change in my eyelids because I have really droopy, hooded eyelids. That treatment, whoo, it's quite incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is a really quick lift. And if you want to go for event and stuff like that, it's really, really good. And what we right now gear a lot towards is actually deliver a lot more long-term result, which is not saying Hollywood Glow doesn't do that. It still do that. It's working on muscle.
Yes.
And a lot of what we do quite often these days is the wound healing and also stimulate collagen. It's so different.
Right.
The thing is, everybody is different, right?
Yes.
And then you, like Stephanie said, you don't self-diagnose.
No.
We tell you which one
I
you
prefer
should.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more Dr. Google.
Yeah,
That's
just
not
do
right.
what I say.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to get away from, because when I started the clinic, you will go out with like, oh, really good treatment, like, oh, this is the fanciest, and this is the latest. Oh, Kim Kardashian did this, and J-Lo did this. Heidi Klum have this treatment, and then everybody just like, oh, it will help me too, but it's not necessary. And I think skin journey, it's always gonna be like, where do you want to get from here to there, and is this the best for you? Isn't it?
I love that.
And then is it the best? And it's not, a lot of people have the idea that, okay, I just do this because it worked for everybody else. And look at all the testimonial and stuff like that. And they get disappointed after that because it doesn't work. I think everybody have to have a plan.
I agree.
That's why we have Stephanie here.
So true.
And it's a shocking thing for me that this industry that we're in, it's so many different things. It's so many different standards. And that's what we're trying to address.
Yes.
To actually get someone from point A to point B and give them the best they can actually get.
In a good long-term solution.
Yes. Because,
I think it's important
because
too.
like, okay, you have pigmentation issues. We solve your pigmentation issue. Tomorrow we go out under the sun again.
No
Isn't
more.
it? Yeah.
I understand.
And then you need to know the cause. How is that you get to where you at today? What is the cause? Even I was in the industry, nobody could tell me you have pigmentation because you didn't wear sunscreen. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and
Wow.
it's crazy. So, I mean, like, come talk to us. Let us look at your face and tell us where you want to get to. And I think that's the best. And consultations are free.
Yeah.
We call it Haken because our consultation actually designed to be an hour long.
Yes.
I think a lot of people go to the clinic, they would just like, hey, I see this treatment. I want it.
Yeah.
And then the therapist is like, let me have a look at your skin. Okay, you can have it. And I think, is that the best thing to do? Not necessary.
Yeah, and
So-
that's a Kai's point of difference as well.
Yeah. So spend time. I think like we have a client, I think not long ago, she's doing a lot of outdoor thing and she travel a lot. She's not going to come in every 2 weeks to get treatment. And she's also so busy. She's not going to carry 4 or 5 different skincare with her. So how are we fitting into the lifestyle with individual? That consultation addressed this. So you know, okay, I know you're not going to use this. I know you don't have time to come in every month for treatment. How we can help you to get to where you're at with the resources you have.
Yeah, beautiful,
Yeah.
Kai. I love that. I so agree. And having experienced that myself with you guys firsthand, totally agree.
Yeah.
What I thought I needed is not necessarily
Exactly.
what I've ended up
Yeah.
with. Because why? I'm not the expert.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to be in the hands of the experts, to be
Yes.
fair. And I've stopped Googling my own
Yeah.
symptoms. So you guys will both be very proud. So it's time to now start talking about the solutions around skincare and what
Yeah.
can happen. So solution number 1, and Stephanie, you've already alluded to this earlier tonight. One of the biggest challenges, of course, is that hole in the ozone layer. UV rays here in New Zealand in particular are aging us faster, as well as our lifestyle, as well as probably a little bit too much wine. I'm not judging.
No, I
Cheers,
disagree.
everyone.
The French drink and they all look good. So I don't think wine has anything to do with it.
Well, I'm converted.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. I support that. So I guess it would be sunscreen and skincare. And you guys have very specific protocols around the skincare that you use.
Yes.
And I believe we've got a screen graphic about the particular types of skincare. Can you talk us through that skincare?
The list of the list of ingredients that actually work on skin is short, right? So the list that we're seeing here is what has been scientifically proven through peer reviews and studies to create change in the skin. So we know that alpha and beta hydroxy acids with vitamins A, B, and C. We know peptides and hyaluronic acids, antioxidants, ceramides, and SPF are really the only things that will create change in skin. So we know that. And so that's one of been the biggest things is what people can get very overwhelmed with, I think, is skincare. And that what comes down to that self-diagnosis as well, because often the way that we'll think about what we're going to use will be based on reviews, or we'll have a look and we think, okay, my skin is dry, so I need something that's really good. What are people using? This has got like 2,000 4.5-star reviews. It must be good, right? So they'll buy it and they'll use it. But actually, I haven't used a moisturizer for 20 years.
That just blows my mind.
I don't
We'll
use
just
a
come back to the
moisturiser.
studio now. Yep.
Yeah.
You haven't used a moisturiser in 20 years.
No, you don't actually need to use a
Wow.
moisturising cream. Some patients I do give a cream to, but more often than not, no. It's actually a serum, which is a light molecular weight. It's got a different consistency that you can feel when you use it. A cream is generally designed to sit on top of the skin, so we're not really getting much change there. But a serum, you can feel it. It's a lot lighter and it's got a bit more of an action. And when we give our skin what it needs to function properly, it actually will fix itself and it will work better on its own. So skin's exactly the same on every single person. We just experience a different symptom. But essentially all three of us would be using the exact same thing. The only thing I would change is I would probably give you something specific to deal with the pigment more. right?
Yeah.
Than someone that isn't. If someone is experiencing more broken capillaries, then they would be on the same as us, but then I would also have something to help with strengthening the capillary network.
Gotcha.
But skin is the same on everybody.
Wow.
And so everyone's like, oh, I've got oily skin, I should only buy things for oily skin, but it's actually not the case.
And we have here an image of the before and after. It's just up there on the screen.
Yes.
Look at that difference.
Yes.
It is really quite incredible. So what happened here, Stephanie?
So we were getting this patient ready for her wedding. So this patient came to see us for a skin consultation. And one of the most important things, particularly for us as practitioners, is there's absolutely no point in us doing any treatments on our patients until they're using the correct skincare.
Yep.
Because when you observe this patient and how this is looking, what you can see is those are two very different skins.
Yes, they are.
So if you tried to start just treating the vascularity of that initial photo without actually addressing the underlying issues, which was inflammation and incorrect skincare, you're just going to be going in circles.
Wow.
So you wouldn't have actually fixed that. And if that patient tried to self-diagnose and was like, right, I need vascular laser,
Yes.
and they went and got vascular laser, it actually wouldn't have helped her.
Wow.
Because it's not what the problem was.
No,
right?
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's an incredible result. Now I know that
It was 6 weeks, by the way. That took 6 weeks.
weeks.
Yes.
Gosh, that's incredible. Now I know that I have had, just on this topic, I've had a couple of personal inquiries prior to today's live stream come through. One person I know is really struggling with rosacea. What we saw in that image, is it kind of similar to rosacea?
It is similar, but rosacea is a condition, so someone that does have rosacea, and often this is the thing, is a lot of people think they have rosacea and they don't. They've got inflammation,
Wow.
right, and just a lighter skin. And so often it's sometimes, once again, that diagnosis, is it rosacea?
Oh, wow.
It might not be. It might just be, you can use a micellar water that's not quite right for you and have rosacea. So
wow.
rosacea is an actual
Irritation.
condition.
Yeah.
And this is what we were talking about before with the self-diagnosis.
Yes.
That can be really hard. Quite often what people think that they have, it's not actually what the problem is. Yeah.
Wow, it's so good to know, because like I said, I had an actual inquiry come through going,
Yes.
oh, can you just check with the ladies about,
Yeah.
I think I have rosacea.
Yeah.
Is it the sun? Is it
Yeah.
this? Is it that? Especially because we're talking about aging. And of course, when we have inflammation, it can age us.
Or you drink wine.
Or you drink too much wine. Not judging. Okay, so skincare and sunscreen, obviously two big important ones. And one of the things that I've learnt from you already, Stephanie, is that there are different sunscreens.
Yes.
Some, and most in fact, don't cover the fact that, we're in a studio right now. We're surrounded by light.
Yeah.
There's, I know, I wish everybody watching the live stream could actually see how many lights we have going on in here. It's quite massive. Those lights can affect us too.
Yes, yep, it's called blue light, which is the light that's emitting from our modern day life, which is our technology, indoor lights, laptop screens, computer screens, phones, those types of things. They've been shown to be cause as much degradation as UV on a smaller scale. But when you think about all of the exposure that you have to wavelengths constantly, the last thing that you needed was another wavelength to degrade your collagen, basically.
Yes.
So it is important. And there's actually only one company in the world, Mesoaesthetic, that is actually making a sunscreen that does protect you from all of the rays that you don't want hitting your skin.
Another question which I need to ask is an SPF in your makeup enough?
Actually, yes, I would agree it is, but it just depends on how you have applied it. And it depends a little bit on what you're doing. If you're just working indoors, right, day to day, and you put on enough of a mineral makeup which has got an SPF 20 in there, you've put enough of it on, that is adequate sun protection. If you're not doing something overly sort of, sweating and having to reapply, if you were going to have a beach day or something like that, it's probably not going to be enough. But I mean, I have a mineral makeup on that I use, and my friends in my 20s, we did actually call it party proof at the festivals in Australia. It was party proof because you'd get to the end of a festival and it would still be on.
Yeah.
And it looked really good, and I wasn't sunburnt. So in some ways it did work. But I think in my 30s, as I've gotten older, I wouldn't be flirting with the sun that much. I definitely would be putting on a proper 50 SPF
Gotcha.
and then a bit of mineral over the top.
Gotcha. And Meso Aesthetic is a brand you've chosen to stock in
Yes.
Kaiz.
Yeah.
Tell me why you decided to do that. Was it based on Stephanie's recommendation,
It
or is
actually
it one
wasn't.
that you know?
It wasn't me.
Well, we already have the skincare a while ago. It's since the start of the clinic, actually.
Yes.
It's just a really good range. And it's cover everything that you need.
They do.
And Stephanie can tell you about the skincare when you get it from your chemist,
Yeah.
or you get it from places like a little bit more professional, like Mecca, or places like that. And also, what's the difference between getting it from a clinic? So that is a huge difference, because not all skincare produce the same. Even when they have the same ingredient inside, the level and how potent the ingredient is, it's so different.
Well, it's more at a therapeutic level when you get it from a clinic, right?
Yeah, well, it is, because often what will happen is the forms are different,
Yeah.
and the actual, the concentration of that active ingredient is also really important. It's not just the ingredient itself, but then once again, it's where that self-diagnosis comes in. So, for example, myself as a practitioner, I don't put everybody on retinol. And everybody sort of thinks that that's, it's been sort of perpetuated, that is the gold standard of anti-aging, whereas actually I find peptides are better. That's just me.
Whoa.
So I only give retinol to my patients that have already experienced insane sun damage. But on a lot of my other patients in their 20s and 30s, or a little bit, around that sort of age, I actually don't give them retinol, because they experience retinoid reactions. They can often get a little bit sort of unfavorable results on the skin. But I find that when I administer peptides to patients, the studies have actually shown them to be as good, if not more effective, than retinol. So often people will be like, oh yes, I'm using a retinol, but then once again, a retinol is not that great if you're also not using a vitamin B and a hyaluronic acid, and you're not using the other supporting products with it. I actually can't use retinol on my skin at all. And I used to train people to use retinol, so I used to have it all the time. and so there I am telling everybody to how to use it and what to do with it. I couldn't even use it myself. So it's one of those things where it's also not an exact science. I also might put a patient on something. That's why I need them to stay in communication with me. I might put them on something and that actually doesn't work. But then that's the whole point of you coming to see me, so that I can then look at you and be like, okay, well, hang on a minute, let's try something else. But that's okay. We're here to help you. That's the point.
Again, no more. It comes back to what I've taken from tonight. No more Dr. Google. No more self-diagnosis, right,
Yes.
Kai?
Yeah.
And also the ingredient is so different from your chemist, and then to a little bit more professional, and also the skin clinic, because it's reasonable to actually understand that you will get more potent and much more active ingredient when you're actually being prescribed by a professional.
Of course.
You can't give
Any
that out
kind
to
of
everybody.
company would actually have a policy and say, we can't actually have such strong active ingredient in there,
Yes.
because you buy it over the counter.
Yes.
And
yes.
what happens if someone actually have
A reaction.
a reaction to it?
Well, there's nobody to help. You know, that's the problem.
And then when you
There's no
get
support.
through 10 different bottles and you buy it yourself, and you probably don't need that much. Yeah.
So true.
So it's so important to get the correct skincare.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
sunscreen and skincare. Yes, you might think you could sort it out yourself, but speak to a professional. That's what I'm taking away from that. Yes.
Yeah.
And you'll be blown away at how much you don't need.
Yes.
Oh, that's, as
Like-
Oprah would say, that's a tweetable moment.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Phew,
When
I've got 3 serums, that's it.
When we do the consultation, you bring your skincare over.
Well, I do
have a
like
look.
doing that.
We
Yeah.
have a look and say, actually, you don't need this, you don't need this, and you can get away just this 3 items.
Wow.
And then your whole life wondering like, I need this, I need this, I need this. Oh wow, somebody endorsed this. This must be good, and it's wrong. So it's simple.
Wow.
Come and see us. It's not doesn't cost money.
Yeah, it makes it
yeah,
easy.
and it's so easy.
Right, we're going to jump into a couple of treatments now, because I know that's what people are waiting for on the live stream.
Yeah.
And again, if you're watching on the live stream, make sure you make some comments there. They're all being very quiet because I know skin and
people are quite shy.
Yeah, Kiwis are very conservative when it comes to this.
conservative.
Aussies, you can't stop them, you know, and they just want more. But we'll get there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about radio frequency microneedling. What is it? How does it work? What is it best for? I believe we've got an image coming up on screen of microneedling. So talk us through it. Looks pretty fancy.
Well, she is very fancy. It is actually my favourite treatment to perform, and it's my favourite treatment to that people can experience, because I never had thought that something would be able to produce a result like this. The results that this can achieve, and especially the fact that it's also such a long-term result that this will produce, had previously thought to only be something that could be achieved by surgery.
Wow.
And when I went to the Plastic Surgery and Dermatology Conference in Las Vegas, and this is the machine and the device that all of the top cosmetic surgeons use for skin tightening on their patients.
Wow.
It is the gold standard of skin tightening.
They won an award not long ago as well, in 2020.
Yeah,
The
best
top-
rejuvenation, I think.
yes.
award.
Wow.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're going to talk about very shortly is the dermapen, which most people know as microneedling.
Yes.
What's the difference between RF microneedling and microneedling?
Essentially, just in a nutshell, you've got like cold and hot needling, basically. So with a dermapen, we use it for a lot of retexturizing, and it has a little bit of a different approach. The way that we actually do the treatment is a little bit different. We're getting a really good infusion of actives during that treatment. I actually do a combination of both therapies, so then people can actually experience, you know, the benefits from both treatments. It doesn't have to be one or the other. But what we've found with the radio frequency microneedling is we get a lot more tightening. So particularly for necks.
Oh, I want it.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get it actually, which is
Okay,
I can't wait to do it on you. But it's the neck is a common problem for women, and with these two devices, you can actually treat right around the eyes. So you can treat the periorbital area, which is something that you can't do with a lot of other equipment because it's too dangerous close to the eye.
Yeah.
But with the dermapen and with the Secret RF, we can treat right to the lash line safely
No
and
way.
above the brow. So little sagging and a skin above here, we can
please.
tighten and pull that back up.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up. So I know we've got some before and after images of,
Yes.
first of all, of the radio frequency microneedling.
Yes, this is one of my patients with
Look
radio
at
frequency.
that.
Yeah.
So what's happened there?
This is, but you can see here a full remodeling of the collagen, and you can actually see the elastin network is kicked back in, and she also doesn't have any filler in. And look at the difference in the lips as well. We actually also see a difference even in the colour of her skin, and that's because we've actually got beautiful oxygenated blood now coming back into the skin, whereas before it looks quite asphyxiated. You see, you can see the skin is quite
Blotchy.
grey, and yes, and so that's when people present like the first image, that's when you hear the common complaint, which is I'm just feeling really dull, and you can also see the difference, the way the light is now reflecting off the skin, and that's that brightness that people then experience post microneedling, because it actually changes the way that light reflects off your skin as
that's
well.
incredible.
So it's that beautiful brightness that you see coming through. So many wonderful changes.
So that's the RF, the RF microneedling, and then we've got some images of before and afters of the dermapen as well. Look at that!
Yeah,
That's incredible.
that's my favourite, I think.
Wow. So tell us what's happened there.
So this patient was really sick of people asking if she was okay.
Wow.
You know, she's fine. But this is one when we're talking about genetics, you know, under the eyes there, that patient had originally come to us for under eye filler, but filler would not have helped her because it wasn't a volume problem, it was a textural and colour problem, you see. And actually what you can't see too well from the image, but she actually had eczema above the brows, and that's all gone as well. So,
incredible.
Yeah, so now that's someone that's able to put, you know, a fresh face forward. And I took those photos myself, so I know that there's no editing to it. That is in the exact same room with the exact same light, the same ring light on the camera. But that's what I'm talking about how the light actually changes. It reflects off the skin after microneedling. Yeah, instead of absorbing and creating that dullness.
Wow. And I mean, Kai, since you opened in December, you'll be seeing these transformations firsthand as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I say, I haven't had time to be able to book myself in as
Yeah,
well.
but your skin looks
Yes,
amazing,
I am.
though.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes.
Just
So
remarkable.
I've always been the model for them to say, hey, we need a model.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the only time I get
Some
treated.
perks, being the owner, I guess.
Being the
Yeah.
owner.
Yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yes.
So the final treatment that we're talking about, which is fantastic for anti-aging, is of course HIFU.
Yeah.
So let's unpack that a little bit. What's HIFU all about?
So HIFU is using a light, a wavelength. So this is where we are not using needles to penetrate the skin, and we use light, and it warms and it stimulates the collagen in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
So we use, this is what we mean when we say it needs to be something that is diagnosed by us, because you can look at our treatment menu and actually think it all does the same thing. It's like, oh good, it's all stimulating collagen. But it's where we change what we're doing is from person to person based on what they're presenting with, and like Kai was saying before, their lifestyle as well.
Yeah.
So we really do cater to patients that are brave enough to go ahead with microneedling. Microneedling is actually fine. It just sounds way more scarier than it
certainly
is.
does.
And then
Yep.
we have HIFU, which gives a skin tightening. And as it says there, the lunchtime facelift, there's no downtime, there's no redness, no irritation. It's just one of those things that we would change based on the lifestyle that patient was presenting with. Yeah, and so it just uses a light wavelength to warm the collagen, give us a beautiful tightening effect. So it's another modality that we have for anti-aging.
So Kai, as you've been the clinic guinea pig, have you had HIFU as well?
Yes, I have.
How did
Actually,
it feel?
it's incredible. It's actually, the results are so fast. You can actually see it right away.
And like, you know, you're 75 and you look no, I'm joking.
Yes,
I'm
I am.
joking.
I am. I'm actually turning 85 to
85, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So it feels okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, like Stephanie said, if you have texture issues, microneedling is best for that. If your skins are really good but it's just a bit sagging, maybe HIFU is for you. But if you want the both, IF needling is for you.
Yeah.
It's all to stimulate collagen, because the sun deplete your collagen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All we do is to create that micro injury to actually stimulate collagen.
Yeah.
We just keep doing that, and then you will be as young as 10 years. I will be
10 years.
75.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys said
Yes.
to me, Monique, we could probably turn actually you said to me the other day, we could probably turn the clock back 10 years. I say bring it on. And in fact, we've got an before and after with HIFU up on screen. Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Fresher, brighter,
Yes.
the eyes are more open. You can see that lift. It really is. I love the idea that it's a lunchtime sort of facelift.
Because like with microneedling, you have a little bit of downtime.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we have the products that actually you can put cover on.
Yes.
It's actually incredible. You can actually tell. You have a little bit of
Sign me up.
Yeah.
have a little bit of red.
We cover all bases.
And you just cover it like a foundation going on.
Yeah.
And then with IF microneedling, not only that address your texture, because of the heat, like Stephanie said, it tightens. And also because it's creating those micro damage, and it stimulates larger, it's actually create larger damage than your microneedling. So the effect, Stephanie will tell you that it's actually lasts longer, so much longer than your microneedling, because you have that heat to going down further to actually create more damage. We want damage so that your body.
Damage, another
I know,
great tweetable moment.
so goes against the grain, doesn't
That's
it?
actually what happened,
I know.
because
People are like, no.
how else you get your body to create collagen? It's if you get cuts, your body create that collagen to heal it. So when you have a lot of needling, that's a controlled environment. So your body create collagens. It's by itself. You don't need filler. You need that collagen constantly stimulating. Because when you get older, you just doesn't create that much collagen.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
It slows down.
Yeah.
I know. It waves goodbye.
Yes.
And the collagen.
But that's why we
soothes.
need to do some damage on your face.
Okay, it seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does.
Scary.
Having- Now
Yeah.
experiencing it, you know, on my own body, all I
But
can
it's a
do
very
is say
simple-
It's amazing.
It's just how
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
We can't produce collagen ourselves that fast.
So we have to give it a hurry on.
Yep.
Yeah, we just have to
nudge it in the
hey,
right direction.
yes.
Oh, well, that sounds fantastic. And for anybody watching in the live stream, because I can see you guys, I can see you hiding away on the live stream, just looking on my computer there. For anybody watching, if you do have questions, you're welcome to send them on through the Kaiz Facebook page there. And remember too, underneath this video is in fact a link to the massive spring launch giveaway. You can see there by adding your details into that portal, and in fact the clock is ticking. Enter your details and you go into the draw to win a $500 Kaiz voucher. Now this is only running for 6 days. From the date of, what date are we today? The 21st
Next
of
week.
September. So you've got just under a week to be able to enter that competition and be in the draw to win. All I can say is, having experienced it firsthand, you are in for a treat. Right, so it is time for us to head away, ladies. I have so enjoyed sharing space and time.
Is
with
that
you
it?
both.
Too, darling.
Yeah, we've been over an hour.
Oh,
God.
really?
Can you imagine that?
We
No.
have.
I know, look
That's
at the
crazy.
time.
I know.
I know. And,
But
you
I
know,
would like to say, to get people to go onto our website and book your consultation.
Just have a
absolutely.
consult.
Look at the program options up
Yeah.
there. They have amazing treatments. You can pay as you go. I'm on the VIP program, darlings,
are on the
because
VIP.
that's what you need to be on, which gets you a peel every month and
Yep.
an LED treatment.
And you get discount,
need to join
yeah.
me on the VIP program. You get all sorts of discounts on other treatments.
Yeah.
Well, they have amazing packages. So head to kaiz.nz. In fact, we've got some we've got screens coming up. You can check out this skincare range. They, like we said, they're mesoaesthetic practitioners. That's one they fully recommend. Skin MTX, another great one. There's other ranges being added just this week, in fact.
Just this week.
I'm super excited.
My hot little hands.
Yeah, you'll be able to enjoy those as
Yeah.
well, which is super exciting. But it all starts with coming in to see you guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
see
We
us.
can't prescribe you anything with packages and buying anything without seeing your face.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
So, to sum up tonight, because it's been a big night,
Yeah.
we've learnt about RF microneedling, we've learnt about Dermapen, that sunblock really is the first port of call, and good skincare.
Yeah.
And of course, we learnt about high food tonight, and that the sun, while we may love it, and I'm welcoming it in now, it's spring, it is also the thing that's aging us the fastest, to be
Correct.
honest. So what would be your biggest tip? One tip, this is your Oprah moment. What do you really want people to understand when it comes to looking after their skin? Kai, I'm going to start with you.
Understand how it works, how you actually lose this collagen and it's a fat, and what tools do you have to actually able to stimulate that collagen back on, and why, and then that can help you. Yeah, and I think that's important. Because you need to know, okay, I'm looking old. How am I gonna be back? Because I tell you what, I have 4 children, right? And I also have a husband. That's my 5th children, by the way.
Oh, whoopsie. Hope he's not watching tonight.
Yeah, I hope he's not.
Sorry,
watching.
Nige.
Yeah,
Yep.
but he's admitted that he's my 5th child anyway. And at the end of the day, when you're like washing dishes, when you're trying to get ready to beat, and then when you have that moment for yourself and you look at the mirror and it's like, wow, I look so much older.
We don't want
And you're
that,
just
do we?
like, is that all? Is that all? You know, it's time to actually live your life and take back a little bit, make yourself feel better. And I think that's important. And I tell you what, we as women, we give so much out every day. You deal with the kids, you deal with employee, you deal with your boss, you deal with whoever. We are a giver. But when you are not treating yourself right, everybody suffer.
Yeah, that's
Everybody.
the truth. That is the truth.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Kai. Now, Stephanie, your final tip or takeaway for people watching tonight.
Look, if you give me 6 months, I can take off 10 years. If
Oh.
you do the things that we say, if you just follow this process, I've done it repeatedly, I've done it over and over and over again. If you can give me 6 months, I can take off 10 years.
All right, sign me up.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Well done.
There you go. I'm done. Hey, and I'd really love you to join me on this personal transformation journey. I'll be releasing a documentary in the next few months talking about my own physical body transformation, my mental transformation, and my skincare transformation. I'm really excited to share that with you. I'm doing that in association with the amazing team here from Kaiz because they really have been phenomenal in looking after me and really helping me match the insides, which are good, to the outsides, which are ready to be fantastic. If you want that sort of journey as well, you need to come and join me. So to find out more about what's happening at Kaiz, here's some details about the amazing clinic. Let's take a look at that very, very quickly right now. I believe, have we got a screen? No? Oh, we've got an ending. So before we do that, I want to thank these gorgeous goddesses for joining me in the studio. Stephanie Yoder. I wish we had a live studio audience here. And Kai Cuff, thank you for what you're doing. You guys are truly amazing. And I also want to say a big thank you to Pete Ward, who's bringing this live stream together. He is behind the scenes. He's our producer and director tonight. So Pete, thank you. You are amazing. He's the biggest feminist I have ever met and is so pro-women and women's transformation. So Pete, thank you. I love you, Pete. You're amazing. So to finish up tonight, here's how you can find out more about Kaiz Medispa in Parnell. Let's take a look.